Hello Kerbal and welcome to my KSP multiplayer server, testing version 1.0.5. Yes, finally I come into the testing phase on my server, trying to use version 1.0.5. Also, in this episode, I want to start building our Duna Express mission, ready for our mission to the unknown, that is Duna, at least in this universe. However, we still got Kerbal stuck on the man, so we're going to have to go and save them at some point, but my friend is still at work. And, well, getting our times to merge together so we can finally rescue those Kerbals is going to be a feat in itself. Anyway, what we got today is I'm going to start attaching parts to it. We've got the side parts, which I'm going to add first. Then we're going to put the lander on the rear of the craft. So we've got a bit of work cut out for us, and I'm going to be talking most of this episode, I suppose, because I want to talk about how we're going to be, not only the Duna mission, but the people have been asking about mods, so I'll talk a bit about that, and also how we're going to be doing this server, how we're going to be adding people onto it. So let's get into this. I suppose the first thing we need to do is go to the VAB, and then I can show you what I'm going to add to this first. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is load up our Duna Express craft, which, a tip for you builders, not Duna Explorer, Duna Express please. If you're going to build a spacecraft, build it all in one go in the VAB. It makes things a lot easier when you're setting things up there docking. So the first thing, let's get rid of the lander. We want to send one of the bits, either side will do. So first off, because the main part is the center, we'll have to set the root part to one of the side parts. Oh, wrong part. Click that, get that away. Get rid of these parts. They're the escape craft, which we'll get to them. I'm going to use them to send Kerbal's app for the mission. By the way, applications for this mission is now open. Right, you can see on this, the center weight is off center. The handy way around that is just to add a fuel tank on a decoupler. Hey presto, the weight is now on the other side. All I have to do is really here is fiddle with the amount of fuel until it looks center enough. I'm using the RCS thrusters as a sort of like center mark. If you set the snap angle on, so then it attaches it to a certain angle, you can use that as a reference guide then. And we don't need the fuel in there, so let's cut that off. We can just decouple it when we don't want it. Right, and as you may know, I like using sub-assemblies. And because this isn't that heavy, I'm going to use the Station Launch Mark III. Now, if some of you may have already watched my building a space station tutorial, well, that is what this rocket is from. All I have to do is rebuild the fairing to fit, and hey presto, we're ready to launch. So it's going to be a nice, quick, easy build, thankfully for me, because at that time I was tired. I tried to do some commentary, and that's why I'm doing some post-commentary now. Anyway, once we've got that built, this is ready to go. So I think what we have to do now is add a mech jeb unit. Well, I don't want to be piloting this myself, because I decided that being on a multiplayer server, things may slow down, and I thought, other people on the game might want to use automatic equipment as well. And it's not cheating really, because NASA use automatic controlled parts even when they're launching their space shuttle and other spacecraft. Because the truth be told, it is hard to fly a spacecraft up into orbit. So after staging everything correctly, I'm good to launch. Okay, our target is targeted. And by there, I was using the pre-launch sequence, which was trying to get us to rendezvous. I've never used that for a mech jeb. And talking about mech jeb, which is a mod, let's talk about mods. First mod to talk about is Kerbal Server, which I've got on here. It adds lots of locations, including these race bars, which I haven't used yet. And it would be awesome to try that out when we have other people on the server who have time. No offense to my friend, but he's busy. And that can't be helped. Anyway, other mods I use is MechJeb by Hero, which gives us automatic tools. Also, it gives us data. And talking about data, I also use Kerbal Engineer Redux, which gives us a lot of information. And I wish I was doing this live because I could bring it up and show you at the same time. Okay. Oh yes, Kerbal Side also adds bases where you can launch from, or runways, all around the planet, which is handy because you may want to go into other places. Alright, here's the Kerbal Engineer Redux mod. I've got both MechJeb on this because both of them give some data and sometimes the other doesn't give the other data. Okay, barring that, let's start talking about other mods. What have we got? We have the ambient light adjustment mod, which makes things brighter, which is handy for YouTube, because YouTube make things dark. Yes, it does. And what have we got? Obviously dark multiplayer, otherwise we won't be able to play on the server. I've also got docking alignment tool, which makes docking much easier. A lot easier, and it's one of my handy tools because I love doing manual docking. However, MechJeb does an awesome job as well, especially on the server when the target reticles don't seem to line up sometimes. Yeah, so I have to look into that. Maybe it's a dark multiplayer bug, or perhaps it's another mod I'm using. But I'll like to get to the bottom of that at some time. Oh yes, and I also forgot, I want this at 80 kilometers, otherwise we won't be able to get to our rendezvous of our Duna Express. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, Hyper Edit. Now, Hyper Edit is you could say it's a cheat tool, but I mainly installed it just in case things go wrong, like a Kerbal disappeared off the man when I was experimenting with settings. And I wouldn't call that a bug, it's probably my fault. So I hyper edited him back up there, then the main spacecraft disappeared and whatnot. So yes, bugs do happen in this game, especially when you are able to mod a game. So having a cheat tool helps quite a bit. There was docking alignment tool. I'm trying to think. Oh yes, I have Kerbal attachment system. Oh yes, there's hyper edit. As I said, I'm doing this post commentary, so I forgot which order I was showing things. Alright, so where was it? Kerbal attachment system. That allows your Kerbals to detach parts and attach them elsewhere. But to help with that, there's an additional mod you can add to work with it, Kerbal inventory system. Okay, and so what the Kerbal inventory system does, it allows you to add containers to your ship, so you can put parts in it, and you can, if you had enough parts in there, perhaps small fuel tanks or something, you could virtually build a small rocket, which is pretty awesome, and I think that is what's lacking in the main game of KSP, or one of the little features. You know, it's not absolutely necessary, because I suppose in real life you do build things, like in the space station. You attach parts, you have to go service things. So yes, those two are awesome mods. Another mod is, but here I'm showing the landing sites of Kerbal Side mod. Some H, I think, is launch sites. The planes are landing strips, and you have other places as well. Okay, while MechJeb is getting us into orbit, I think there is one more mod. Yes, it is Inferno Robotics. And I'll be showing you a bit about that, because I'm going to be attaching it to our Duna Express. And in fact, we've already got a part for that on the Duna Express, which unfolds and lets a large antenna, the scanning antenna for ore, adjust out. Oh yeah, and here is the ambient light mod. Because if you think, in space, it is really dark. Now that's probably quite dark for you guys. Ooh, it's really dark now. And that's exactly what you get, except I suppose the Earth would reflect some light and cause a bit of reflection there. But in the deep space, it would be extremely dark. And I mainly use this to make videos so you guys can see what's happening. Okay, so now I skip ahead in the video because Well, let's face it. Docking is fun, so we want to skip to that part. Now, rendezvous is a hard subject to follow. However, showing you everything in one video is hard. They'll make the videos long. Oh, and the good news as well. The adverts are back. Okay, I missed adverts in the last one. Well, I didn't really miss. It's just time-consuming adverts. It takes me, or is it 10 minutes, I suppose, to plan something. 20 minutes then to make a script, I suppose, rewriting that. I don't do it all in one go, so it's at the moment I think of an idea and I decide I'll write it out. Anyway, I'm wobbling on. Okay, I'm rambling on. Anyway, what we're gonna do now, because we're actually in a docking mode, I set the force roll of MechJeb to 180, so we can line this up correctly. At hindsight, I would have attached it on the other side because that's the way I built it. All the hatches would be on the same side. But never mind, I'm not one for being extremely particular. If it's got a docking node and the docking node's the right size and it fits and it's not going to make everything lopsided, awesome. Okay, I can't remember what I was talking about here. It's waving the mouse around the spacecraft. But you can see MechJeb is doing a good job. If you look at I normally use the nav ball for docking as well. If you look at the nav ball, it is not center. This is the problem I was talking about. I know that alignment tool is center. I had one problem though when that wasn't center when trying to dock. That may have been my fault. Perhaps I clicked on the wrong target. But it caused problems, and that is why I'm using MechJeb here to dock. So we're coming in slowly. We're supposed to be at a speed limit of 1 meters per second. However, MechJeb is deciding 0.2 meters per second is much better, healthier for our spacecraft. And hey presto, we have docked. And as you can see in the corner there, new fry is already in there and awaiting our crew. Which brings me on to another point. Applications for the Duna Express mission is now open. I already have one applicant who successfully applied because he is the only one who's going on this mission. Let me think. I'm going to have 2 Kerbals landing. I think I'll have 4 Kerbals on the main ship as well. Perhaps more than 4. Yes, submit your applications in the comments below, where you'll be selected if you are the brainiest or you have a unique username. Or you just thumbs up the video. Bit of blackmail. No, it's not blackmail. Never mind, if you like the video, you'd like the video, so I don't care really. I'm doing these videos for fun. So, it's not as if I'm earning a living from these. Anyway, let's get this and deorbit it. And if you guys watch my building the space station tutorial, you know that this probe has parachutes. So in all the role-playing thing where you can deorbit this, it also has a heat shield as well. Oh yeah, we can get rid of that tank now. And it flies off into space. Excellent. Anyway, I'm going to deorbit this, and I think it's time for a commercial break. And I hope you guys enjoy. Introducing the Command Pod Mark 1, an affordable cockpit brought to you by the makers of Mark 3 Shuttle Cockpit. It encompasses all high-tech features of the Mark 3 cockpit in a single driver command pod. It also has a functioning nav ball, altimeter so you know where the sea level is, radar altimeter so you can avoid those pesky mountings. It also has a responsive reaction control wheel and flickering lights. It also is the most crash-tested command pod out there, so you can feel safe while driving. Purchase before now, and you will get this awesome view included. Purchase at a KFC near you. Please note, rockets not included. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that advert. Oops, I forgot to engage the autopilot for there. Anyway, this is the second side of our spacecraft, our Duna Express. And, well, someone asked me to make this asymmetrical, or AC something, so, okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I was, going to give up on doing it asymmetrical, but there you go. This is slightly different. Yes, I had little wiggle room because I forgot that I made the other side a certain weight, and we couldn't have the weight on both sides different, or too different, because there's a problem, once you pull the craft or push it with a rocket, if it's out of balance, then it's going to go sideways. So this is close to the weight on the other side. We can add and subtract weight with using fuel in the fuel tanks that I'm using as docking nodes. But there you go. It's slightly different, and its purpose built for our mission to hold Kerbals. And the viewing hatch is on the other side. Okay, so let's dock this up using MechJab again, because I do not trust my docking abilities with the nav ball showing that the docking alignment is out on the nav ball. So anyway, that's attaching, and perhaps I can talk on a more serious note as we deorbit this. And that is on this server. This is actually playing in version 1.0.5. I decided to install the mods and give it a go. And it all seems to be working. I need to test it with someone else, but that's besides the point. What I want to do now is add people to the server. But before we go on and talk about that, let's have a look at this. My infernal robotics expertise. Yes, I've been playing a bit more with infernal robotics, and what I've done by here, I've added a communications array. Of course, we need one. How are we going to talk to Kerbin without it? And by here, I've got the Communitron dish, if I can open it. And yay! And we've got the small antenna as well for short range communication. And obviously we can rotate it and put it in the position we require. Okay, so that is sorted. Now though, we need to get something else up here. Yes, of course, the lander. And while we're launching, let's go back to adding people to the server. 3 people have asked, can they join the server? Well, more than 3, but 3 before a certain time I've said yes to. So you 3, you should know who you are, will be added to the server. No one else at the moment, because the reason is I want to do this as an experiment. And the idea is that this is more of a community experiment, not a multiplayer experiment. Yes, it's an aspect of it, but I want to see what community of people on a server can do. I'm not sure how the other people are going to play, what the times they can play as, whether they want to appear on my videos, or just play games. This is a community experiment, see what it's going to be like before Squad add their multiplayer, as they said they were going to do in the future. And hopefully the upgrade to 1.1 is a way for them to actually, add the back-end code for multiplayer. Anyway, another skip in the video. We're now coming in for docking. Set a target. Engage autopilot. Now let's do a forced roll because we want it to be lovely and symmetrical with all the other spacecraft. Okay, so you 3 guys, and last note, you will be added one at a time. I have 2 other people to ask. One who doesn't know at the moment, one who knows about the server, which I did ask him before, so I don't know if he's wants to or not, but the option is there. And oh yeah, Virik67 is added to the server. However, he has not got the time to play on the server, and that's fair enough because he's got a full-time job. I've got a full-time job, and I'm having trouble doing these videos. But this is just for fun, so when I get the time, I will do these videos. And don't worry, tutorials will be back sometime soon. or hopefully coming Christmas holidays. I'm working over most of the Christmas week, so unfortunately not there. And hey presto, we have docked. Oh yes, and on a good note, version 1.1, they're preparing for QA. It sounds like they're going to be doing it soon, but they're not doing it soon, but they're preparing, which means at some point they will. Anyway, like the videos if you liked it, subscribe, because I'll be doing more, and tutorials in the future, I suppose. I don't know what else to add here. And whoa, that was close. I felt daring but there. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the adverts. I'll be releasing the adverts on standalone videos, so trust me, I'm an engineer. That's a weird ending to my video. Bye guys.